Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Austin, and today I want to talk about theater mode, specifically theater mode as it pertains to Call of Duty. So, theater mode has kind of had an off and on again relationship with Call of Duty. It's really only been in the latest 3 Treyarch titles and one, in MW3 as well, although it's kind of rudimentary. And it's something that, I don't know, I thought at this point would just be a staple of the game. Back in 2010 when they announced that it was in Black Ops, there was of course a huge clamoring for it, myself included. Obviously myself, I'm a machinima creator. That was the game that I first did machinima in. If it were not for theater mode being in that game, who knows where I'd be right now? Who knows, would I be sitting in this chair talking to you right now about theater mode? Probably not, because I would just be unemployed somewhere. So initially it was received very, very well, and what it seemed like the argument against it eventually became, well, it was two parts. So the one argument is one that I really don't see too much merit in. Maybe someone could show me some stats and sway me, but they claimed that when theater mode was running, when you had a theater mode recording being recorded, connection was noticeably worse. That somehow bullet detection, the refresh rate, I guess maybe might have been different. They basically said that it lagged more when the theater mode was active than when it was not active, when you were just playing a game like Modern Warfare 2. And they would point to games like MW3 versus MW2. MW3 did have a theater mode, MW2 of course did not, and they'd compare the connections and the hit detection of both of these games, and they would pin it entirely on theater mode and things like that, which to me I think is a bizarre thing, because for one, maybe I don't have the eye for it, right? To me, Black Ops 2, MW3, Black Ops 3 even, those are the 4 games with theater mode in it. I don't, I've not played those games and at any point felt like there was just a blanket of disconnect over any kind of, I never thought that the hit detection as a whole was any worse in Black Ops 2 than it was in Ghosts. And the same people who are claiming that, hit detection and that lag has gotten worse throughout the Call of Duties, they say exactly that it's gotten worse throughout the Call of Duties, that the devs have been building on top of this engine for so long that just data loss, I guess, and things are getting more lag-ish. That's not a word, I just invented that word right now. It's lagalicious. To the point where, if you compare Infinite Warfare and COD 4, the original COD 4, that, the connection is so much better on the nearly 10-year-old game than the 1-year-old game, And so that was one argument against it. And while I don't exactly have the numbers in front of me, I don't necessarily subscribe to that. That is one part of it. And the other part, the other argument against it is something that I find a lot of flaws with. So the argument is that PS4 and Xbox One and even PC in certain games with Nvidia and all that, they have built-in capture cards essentially. There's a dedicated share button on the PS4 that anyone can record anything through their console. If you just had a really, really great game of domination, you dropped a 60 bomb, you can hit that share button and suddenly now you have that file, or you can share it to Twitter and you can do this, do that, and people see that as, okay, that was the purpose of theater mode. Now that Sony and Microsoft, they've included that into the console, there's no need for it anymore, right? Win-win, and I feel like that idea is it's really not grasping what theater mode was and what it is. Theater mode, of course, yes, you can go into theater and capture your own gameplay, vanilla, with the HUD up and just capture it, as if you were playing the game. Yes, that is possible, but there's so much stuff to do in theater mode that you just simply cannot do with a PS4 share button. I feel like montages that take place in Black Ops or Black Ops 2, cross-the-map tomahawk throws. You can throw that tomahawk in Call of Duty Ghosts, or whatever, throwing knife, I guess, in Call of Duty Ghosts. Stick someone from across the map, you don't know who you hit, you don't know how you hit them, you don't know where you hit them. There's something to be had, not even in a cinematic, like taking machinima out of the picture, just as your standard ordinary player. There is something to be had of just being able to, you dropped a 50 bomb in this game. I want to watch that in theater and see what was happening around the map, and just to like plant your camera up in the sky and see people running around like little ants trying to do things and just getting shot down by you. It emphasizes that badassery that you had. Or if you're not badass and someone in your game went, and dropped a 50 bomb or did this or that, and dropped a nuke, and you want to see how they did it, because you're over here, you're going negative every game, and you just want to know, okay, well, what kind of guns are they running? Okay, what's the strategy? And you learn from that. On top of that, the whole MLG scene, game battles on a lower degree than the multi-million-dollar tournaments. If I wanted to start a team, a 6-person team, and we play another 6-person team, how do we know if they cheated or not? All that stuff. There was an extra layer of holding people accountable, because you could just hop into the theater game and rewatch it and even learn from it. People on the top of leaderboards, there's a big problem of people hacking, people boosting to get to the top, the tippy top of these leaderboards. With theater mode, that's not a problem, because you can load into their game and see, oh, this game where they, got like 1 million score per minute, that's because there was some dude sitting in the back with a tactical insertion and just bam, 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 killing constantly. It's fraudulent sort of thing. A lot of people are clamoring for a more in-depth combat record and this and that, other statistics, the other things that they want to see about themselves and about other people. I think that theater mode is just another step off of that direction. And games like Uncharted and The Last of Us, games that launched on PS4, or at the very least, were re-released on PS4, that had a share button, a share functionality, and that Sony really, really pushed to make this game a social media heavy game. They included things like photo mode, where you can go in and you have features that are unavailable in the game. You can unlock from Joel, you can, in Horizon, you can change up, facial expressions and make people stand, sit, or dance, or do whatever you want. You can adjust the exposure. It's taking that game and making it the world in which you set a scene. And it's something that I think is really, really good for the game dev, because you can make, so many high-res, really, really thought-out, perfectly lit, perfectly orchestrated screenshots of your game, or even trailers of your game. But that does not compare to someone scrolling through their Twitter feed and seeing hashtag Call of Duty, and then a picture of a dude being lit on fire, and it looks beautiful, it looks perfect. It's organic marketing in a way, right? And it also helps liven the community outside of the game. When the Emblem creator was brought on, and there still are a lot of like YouTubers and people on Twitter and Instagrammers, I guess, I don't know what the hell you call people on other platforms, that essentially what they do is they just make cool emblems and they make paint jobs and they take the elements of the game and they make it their own. And it does add this sense of community. It's something that Grand Theft Auto, I think, does very, very well. With the introduction of the Rockstar editor and the director mode and all this stuff, not only because it has those features similar to theater mode, but also because Rockstar holds contests. They have music video contests like once a year or so, where they say, okay, this is the music video, or this is the song, go make us a music video shot entirely in our game, and we'll crown the winners. We'll give the winners in-game currency or unlocks or whatever. And the beauty of it is each of those music videos is just an ad for Grand Theft Auto, bringing more and more people into the game. And that's not to say that Rockstar is selling out its fan base and that it's like outsourcing its marketing or anything. You have a happy customer, you have a happy producer. It's a win-win for both of us. And especially with Call of Duty World War II really emphasizing this sense of community, with headquarters having this, hub world that you go in and you interact with people and you open loot boxes together and you watch Call of Duty live streams. I wish that they would take it a step further to not only in the game, in that selective world, but also expanded it outside of the game, expanded it onto YouTube and to other avenues where other games I feel have made a lot of progress. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many new maps you release, it doesn't matter how many guns you put in supply drops after the fact. The thing that's going to keep your game alive is the community. And the community, like it or not, doesn't exist in the game anymore. It exists on social media. It exists on Reddit, on YouTube. And I think that theater mode is a perfect way to cater towards those audiences and to kind of cultivate this creative community of I guess creators, right? I guess that's really where I want to end it. It's theater mode has such potential. I think that if utilized right, maybe it's not going to be the thing that saves Call of Duty, quote unquote, but it will help. Anyway, that's where I'm going to stop talking. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Be sure to like if you enjoyed and hit that little subscribe button and the bell next to it so you get notified every time that we upload. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys when I see you guys. So see you guys. Peace.